The Gamecocks will send the freshman Carly Heath to the circle. She did not pitch in the first meeting, which the Gamecocks won 3-2. Duke comes in at 12-16 overall. The Gamecocks at 21-7. A chilly day here in Columbia. Slight breeze blowing out as you look at the numbers on the freshman Carly Heath. She's out of North Augusta. 6-0 record on the season. And first hitter she will face is the first baseman Rachel Abood as you look at the Duke lineup. Trying to turn things around. They won 2 out of 3 over the weekend in ACC play. Had a winning record, as Megan told you, overall and in ACC play in their first years of program last year, which is impressive. And Abood will stand in to lead things off.
So what we should expect from freshman Carly Heath is she's going to throw in the mid-60s, kind of that 62-64 range. She's going to throw a rise, change up, and a curve. Her go-to pitch is going to be her curve, and I think the key for her is just going to be to throw strikes and get ahead. What I really like about Carly Heath is we're also going to see her in the lineup for South Carolina.
Abood's a sophomore from Huntington Beach, California, named to the ACC All-Freshman team last year after hitting .310, which was third on the team. And Heath, the freshman, falls behind her 2 balls and no strikes. In the first meeting between these two teams earlier this year was back on February 8th in the tournament in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Again, the Gamecocks won 3-2. Abood was 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout in that contest. The 2-0 pitch. Over but low, and the freshman falls behind.
And that was a look at Carly Heath's changeup.
Heath with 34 strikeouts in 36 2/3 innings, but 20 walks. And falls way behind here. The 3-0, right down the middle. Abood thought it was ball 4. Cameron Ellison calling balls and strikes behind home plate tonight. Robert Guest, your first base umpire. Don Brown at third base.
You have a very seasoned umpiring staff out there. The folks out here have national championship experience at different levels.
Next pitch catches the outer third, and Heath battles back to run the count full. Abood in the leadoff spot, hitting at .278, 7 doubles, a home run, 14 knocked in. The payoff pitch popped her up left side. There's Kenzie Mcguire, the shortstop, 1 away. As we check the South Carolina defense, and it is a good one, as they return 3 out of 4 starters from last year with Johns, Mcguire, and Bosal. Kamiyama gets a start at first, normally a DP, but Coach Smith wanted to get her bat in the lineup, and with what they can do with some of their pitchers hitting for themselves, it gave them more of an opportunity. You saw Fabian is catching. There's the outfield. Kennedy Clark, Lawrence Stewart, and Haley Simpson. Second baseman Deja Davis steps in and slaps the first pitch foul.
What I really like about that first out there is Carly Heath worked her way back from a 3-0 count and was able, and you saw on that 3-2 count, she throws a changeup to induce the infield pop-up, routine pop-up. So that was a nice job by the freshman pitcher there. It helps set the tone when you can keep that leadoff runner off base.
Davis at the plate, a freshman California native, tries to bunt her way on, pushes it foul, and she's quickly behind. No balls and 2 strikes. Davis is the Blue Devils' leading hitter coming into today at .298. Obviously uses her speed well coming out of the left-handed hitter's box. In fact, she's already tied the program record with 16 stolen bases this year. 16 for 16 in stealing bases, and still a lot of softball to be played. Takes the ball outside, didn't offer.
I had the opportunity to sit in while Duke was warming up, taking their warm-up batting practice, and I tell you, these young ladies have some nice looking swings. It's hard to imagine this is only the second year of the program.
Kenzie Mcguire takes care of Davis, and there's 2 away. Yeah, I had the chance to watch some of them as well. A very athletic-looking program. You're right. It doesn't look like a second-year program, and they didn't look like a first-year program last year. Finishing middle of the pack in a conference like the ACC is nothing to sneeze at. They've done a terrific job there to get this program established. 2 outs, nobody on for the right fielder, Jamison Cavill. Fastball right down the middle for strike 1.
You know, something else you have to think about with Duke is if you look at their record, it's, you know, you could think what you want to about it, but they've played some really tough competition already, and they've not had many games where they've not been right there with the competition. And Coach Marissa Young talked about that as well, as this team is young, but they're tested. And that does take a toll on the confidence a little bit, but it's similar to what we dealt with a couple weekends ago with Kentucky. Kentucky having played such a tough strength of schedule, and Duke having done the same.
Heath way ahead right now of Cavill. No balls and 2 strikes. You saw the numbers on Cavill. She was 2 for 3 against the Gamecocks earlier this year, scored both of the Duke runs. And Cavill last year had 16 stolen bases, which led the team, so very dangerous when she gets on. One, 2 up high. And speaking of the ACC and new teams next year, Clemson will be on the diamond for the first year of softball, another ACC team, but obviously the biggest rival school-wise for South Carolina, and that'll be a lot of fun. Little dribbler will roll foul, will do it again, and I think that's going to be great for this state to have those 2 teams meet on the softball diamond. Obviously, it challenges recruiting in state now that there's 2 major colleges for major conferences, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
I agree with you there. I think that for the state and for softball and for the ACC, I think that Clemson adding a program definitely is going to improve the game all around. It's going to make the South Carolinas step up even more, because you can't understand, I mean, every school has their state rivalry or their rival team, and you're right, Clemson is that for South Carolina, and when you play a rival team, it's just something special.
Yep.
I mean, I don't even know another way to explain it.
It would be a great opportunity for those student athletes in softball to have that opportunity to be a part of the rivalry. Another 2-2. Just missed, little high. Good battle here between Cavill and Carly Heath, the South Carolina pitcher, as they run the count full 3-2 after Heath was way ahead. No balls and 2 strikes. It's the second full count of the first inning. The freshman's payoff pitch. Tap to second. Bosal is there, and 3 up and 3 down for the Blue Devils here in the first. Nothing doing for Duke. Gamecocks coming to bat after this. To the bottom half of the first inning here in Columbia. Gamecocks coming up for their first set of swings against Brianna Butler of the Blue Devils. The sophomore did not pitch in the first meeting against the Gamecocks earlier this year. From nearby Evans, Georgia, just across the border. Your stomping grounds, right?
Yes, that's exactly where I'm from. Butler's going to throw in the high 60s. She can hit 66, 67 easy. She's working to really locate her fastball. She will throw a curveball on an off speed.
Kenzie Mcguire set to lead things off for the Gamecocks as you look at South Carolina's lineup. And veteran through and through. A lot of familiar names from that team that, for the Gamecocks, that won 49 games a year ago and advanced to the Super Regional for the first time in Coach Beverly Smith's tenure here. Mcguire, the redshirt junior, to lead things off, was 2 for 4 against the Blue Devils in the win earlier this year. Had a stolen base as well. You see her numbers on the year. First pitch is a fastball in for a strike.
Kenzie Mcguire is definitely one of those South Carolina players that is a leader on the team, and she's actually a social media star because she keeps showing out there at second shortstop.
Yeah, she keeps getting, throughout her career, top 10 plays for Sports Center. Had the, I think, the defensive play of the year last year.
and then she had a similar play that most recently was circulated again.
Yep. She's picked things up with the bat this year, as you saw. They're hitting .315 coming in. Earned second team All SEC honors, and All Region honors a year ago.
Yeah, that's one thing I really like about social media. There are many things I don't like, but one thing I do like is, athletes like this are getting exposure on a national, international level because of social media. And you just see how good softball athletes are because you see a play that's been retweeted or something like that. It's just so good for the sport.
Good battle here, a ball and 2 strikes on McGuire. Duke defensively, their infield kind of squeezing towards the corners. Shortstop playing very far over in the hole on the left side of the infield. 1-2 pitch again, high and tight. Two-two pitch hit in the air to center field. Foreman is there, and she's got it for out number 1. Defensively for Duke, you just saw Christina Foreman there in center field, flanked by Wilson and Cavill. And the infield for the Blue Devils, Jacobson, Gagliano, Davis, Abood, and Moreno. Mackenzie Bosal stands in, the second baseman for the Gamecocks. Takes ball 1. The junior having another good year at the plate. She's been a mainstay in the lineup since she got on campus. Third on the team in hitting coming into today.
Yeah, and I think if you are going to talk about Kenzie Mcguire, you also have to talk about Mackenzie Bosal. It's just so interesting to me how they're so similar in many ways, and they play up the middle, and then they bat next to each other in the lineup.
Just foul down the third base line. Bosal also a second team All-SEC selection a year ago. All freshman team back in 2017. There's her career numbers. And pretty consistent. Consistent improvement and consistently good. Slapped right to the third baseman, Jacobson, who stuck the glove out and made a nice play. That one was a rope off the bat of Mackenzie Bosal.
Nice grab. Yeah, that was a shot.
I mean, you can see it spinning in the glove. It was hit so hard, and Jacobson able to hold on there. So quickly 2 down in the Gamecock first. Here's the third baseman, sophomore Jana Johns. Takes one low. Johns named to the SEC All-Freshman and All-Defensive team last year. Started every game at third base. You see her numbers on the year. Leads the Gamecocks and ranks 11th in hitting.
And she's just a sophomore.
Yep. Oops, that one foul.
So if you want to talk about gritty players, Jana Johns is a gritty player. And I love watching athletes that are gritty. She's the type that's going to go out there and lay out for you on defense. And, well, she's pretty good in the lineup, too.
Almost half her hits this year for extra bases. Sends one to short. Gagliano is there, and the Gamecocks go 3 up and 3 down in the first. We're scoreless after 1 here in Columbia. Seven Innings is the weekly softball podcast ready to chronicle the road to the Women's College World Series. The ESPN personalities covering the sport all season will shine a spotlight on the teams and players that make softball so special. 7 Innings will entertain us all the way to Oklahoma City and beyond. Listen now on the ESPN app, iTunes, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Top of the second here in Columbia. No score between the Blue Devils and the Gamecocks. Freshman DP Christina Foreman to lead things off. first pitch swing sends a base hit to left field, bobbled momentarily there by Kennedy Clark, but Foreman will stand at first with the game's first hit.
Yeah, you can see this pitch just up in the zone, right over the middle of the plate.
So the Blue Devils get the leadoff aboard for the left fielder, Rain Wilson. And this is a Duke team that's not afraid to lay down a lot of bunts. I think they had 3 sacrifice hits against the Gamecocks in the first meeting between these two schools. Wilson sends a fly ball deep to left field, down the line. Clark coming over, and it is a foul ball. So the Blue Devils getting some healthy swings against the freshman Carly Heath here to start the second inning.
I really thought Clark was going to get that. Excuse me, she may not have decided to, just because if she had caught it, then that would have allowed Foreman to tag in advance. It would have been an easy trip for her over to second.
Heath's 0-1 pitch. Down the middle for strike 2.
You know pitchers love it when you say their pitch was down the middle. I mean, it was. But when you call them out like that.
Oh, bless your little heart.
Don't you bless my heart.
Foreman at first, 2 for 2 stealing bases this year. Hit in the air to center field, Lauren Stewart. The center fielder has it measured. There's one away. One out for the third baseman, Caroline Jacobson. As you see, Lauren Stewart had a chance to speak with her earlier this week. And she is a lot of fun. Here's Jacobson. First pitch misses low. Jacobson 1 for 2 with an RBI and a sacrifice against the Gamecocks back in February. A 1-0 from Heath, fisted foul behind the plate. Overcast day here in Columbia, a little chilly compared to what we had about a week ago when it felt like spring was in full force.
And today is actually, spring just started officially around 5:58-ish.
Nice. Okay. I learned something today.
There you go, Brad. That's what I'm here for.
Well, you are a doctor, so I'm glad you could pass along some knowledge.
I dropped that for you.
2-1, over but low, and it's 3-1.
You can thank my local news station for that tidbit.
Carly Heath gave up a leadoff single to Christina Foreman. Now there's one out, and she's fallen behind Caroline Jacobson. Little pop up to the second baseman, Bosal. No chance to get the double play, but now there's 2 away. Here's the DP, Dominic Salinas. Salinas, a junior from Corpus Christi, Texas. Spent her freshman year at Ole Miss before transferring to Duke. Down behind the plate. Salinas 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts against the Gamecocks back in February. Oh, took something off it. Beautiful pitch by Carly Heath, and Salinas out in front.
That was a really nice changeup. You could tell just how nice it was by the way Salinas swung through it.
So Heath now way ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Salinas trying to extend the inning. One hopper to Bosal. She'll go the short route. Inning over. Nothing doing for the Blue Devils after a leadoff single. We're still scoreless heading to the bottom of the second. Your updated SEC softball standings. Gamecocks trying to make a move this weekend. They'll host a good Ole Miss team. Gamecocks off to a slow start, but obviously still a lot of time. And when you're playing nationally ranked teams every week, it's not easy. The league beats up on itself a lot. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Gamecocks here in their half of the second. Kayla Drotar to lead things off. Takes one outside from Butler, and we're underway.
Yeah, we actually talked to Coach Beverly Smith prior to this game, and kind of just asked her, where are they sitting mentally? And she said that, they went to Arkansas, and yes, they didn't come away winning the series, but getting that third win on that last day, they really needed that. It's almost like they broke the seal, right? And she said just previously, even against Kentucky, she wasn't really happy with the mentality that they came out with. So they've changed their mentality, they've changed their approach a little bit. But hey, she said, listen, welcome to the league after those losses at Arkansas.
Nice backhanded play by Deja Davis to retire Kayla Drotar. Here's Kennedy Clark, the left fielder. And it's a different look, if you will, for South Carolina this year. In years past, they were the ones that were hunting other people. They were flying under the radar, even though they've gone to the NCAA tournament every year. And now they're the hunted. They're the team after going to Super Regionals last year and finishing in the top 4 in the conference a year ago. They're not going to sneak up on anybody anymore.
And I think that with the start they've had, it's been disappointing. They thought that coming off of a Super Regional and having such a great season, I think they thought they'd be in a different position right now. But they're just hitting the midway point of the season, and there's still a lot of softball left. You want your team to peak at the end of the season, going into conference championship play and into the postseason play.
Kennedy Clark second on the team in hitting at .397. Count even now at 2-2. Tied for second on the team with 5 home runs. Kennedy had a productive game against the Blue Devils back in February. Went 2 for 3 with a double and an RBI. In the air towards left field. That'll drop in front of Rain Wilson for a base hit. And the Gamecocks have their first hit of the day.
Yeah, Kennedy Clark can be tough to pitch to. I mean, that ball was over the middle third of the plate, but it was still tending to the outside corner. And Clark did a really nice job of just sitting back on that, driving it to the left side of the field.
So a runner aboard with 1 out for the center fielder, Lauren Stewart.
The center fielder, #1, Lauren Stewart.
Stewart out of Alpharetta, Georgia, started her career at Purdue, had a very good year there her freshman year, hit over 300. Taps the first one to the third baseman, Jacobson. Only plays the first, and they get the out there. Clark moves to second on the play. And brings up the first baseman, Alyssa Kamiyama. The sophomore playing first base today, normally a DP, and Coach Bev giving her a chance in the field. Definitely wanted her bat in the lineup because she's got pitchers who can hit, and she wanted to get other folks in the lineup as well, so she gets to play first base today, and you can see what she can do with the bat. She can do some damage.
She actually had a really great series against Arkansas. I mean, she had 2 home runs, a double RBI. And you said it, when you have pitchers that can hit, you are able to be more flexible in the lineup, and by putting Kamiyama there over at first, Coach Smith is able to do a lot more offensively. I mean, Coach Smith even said, you just have to have her bat in the lineup. There's no way around it.
And limited playing time this year, 4 home runs. Last year as a freshman, 10 home runs, was tied for second on the team. So Coach Beverly Smith hit foul down the right field line into the South Carolina bullpen.
And Coach Smith is literally, if they win, that's her 300th win, right? And just remember that she is a Tar Heel graduate.
That's right. Yeah. So this one has a little extra for her, even though she didn't ever have the chance to play against Duke. But just to have a chance to take on her former school rival has got to be a lot of fun. Kamiyama just got a piece of that one, 2-2. And for all that we saw last year with Kamiyama as a freshman and the impressive things she did at the plate, what sticks out to me was when she put down a perfectly executed bunt on a suicide squeeze to score a big run in SEC play.
That was extremely memorable. What I really like that she's done this year is just her earlier in the season when she was coming in as a pinch hitter and hit a 3-run home run and then a grand slam off the bench.
Gagliano finishes off Kamiyama for out number 3. Nothing doing for the Gamecocks. They get a runner to second, leave her stranded. We're scoreless after 2. Top of the third rolls around here at Carolina Softball Stadium at Beckham Field in Columbia. We're scoreless between the Gamecocks and Blue Devils. Duke will send the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to the plate against the freshman Carly Heath. Shortstop Marissa Gagliano to lead things off. Has the bunter way on, pushes it foul. Gagliano started her career at Radford. Actually played 3 years there, led Radford last year in hitting at .361 and had 69 stolen bases in 3 years. A grad student at Duke and had 1 more year of eligibility. Infield drawn in, and she swings and misses the next pitch, 0-2.
Just couldn't keep up to that Carly Heath rise ball. But something Coach Young talked about with Gagliano is that, you know, she is a graduate student, and so she has a little bit more calm, cool, collected kind of demeanor that's been crucial for leadership on the field.
Didn't chase that pitch from Carly Heath, 1-2. Infield shallow, or rather, yeah, infield and outfield both shallow for the slap hitter. Popped her up into center field. Lauren Stewart runs back and makes the grab, 1 away. Brings up the catcher, Jasmine Moreno. Moreno out of Elk Grove, California. High and outside by Carly Heath. Moreno stands at the top of that right-handed hitter's box. Squares the bunt, pulls back at a pitch down low, and Heath falls behind 2-0. We've talked about this veteran pitching staff for South Carolina, returning all 3 of its pitchers from a year ago, with a sophomore, a junior, and a senior, and Carly Heath finding her way, the freshman, 6-0 to start her career. Hit deep down the left field line, curving foul. Just missed a long home run.
Yep, but
just a strike.
Just a strike.
That would have been the first home run of the year for Moreno. But instead, she's got to grab the bat and try it again.
That was nice contact by Moreno. And you talk about the success of Carly Heath, and I think that also speaks to, obviously, Carly Heath and the defense that have played around her, but also to the veteran pitchers that have helped kind of pick up some other innings and be in some other situations and have allowed Heath these opportunities, midweek games and those sorts of things, to really grow and get her feet wet.
Moreno with the base hit to left, second hit of the day for the Blue Devils. Back to the top of the order now for Rachel Abood, the first baseman.
First baseman, Rachel Abood.
Abood led off the game with a pop out to shortstop. South Carolina will entertain Ole Miss here this weekend.
I think that's going to be actually a pretty good matchup.
1-0 popped up, foul territory. That'll reach the seats.
See, Brad, I don't understand why you don't come to work with your game face. What is that? Paint on your face. I could take you more seriously.
If you want me to, I will. I could.
Okay.
That's what it takes. That'll make you happy.
Believe it when I see it.
Ball and 2 strikes now on Abood. I will if you will.
Oh, you don't know me very well then.
Yeah. Moreno at first with 1 out. The 1-2 to Abood. Strike 3 called, 2nd out, and a big first strikeout of the game for Carly Heath.
You can see Carly Heath working the outside corner. Just a nice, well-placed ball in the outer third of the plate there.
2 outs for the second baseman, Deja Davis. Davis, the freshman, has obviously been a nice addition to this Blue Devil team, leading the team in hitting coming in. Gets a bunt down, it'll roll foul. And obviously good speed for Davis coming out of that left-handed hitter's box if she's able to get a bunt down in fair territory. If she gets it down where she wants, you may as well just put it in your pocket.
And that's what speed will do, is it challenges the defense.
Slaps that one. Heath fielding her position nicely. Inning over. She works around a 1-out base hit. Nothing doing for the Blue Devils here in the third. We're still scoreless. Bottom of the third, still scoreless here in Columbia. Gamecocks will send the 8, 9, and 1 hitters to the plate. Catcher Jordan Fabian to lead things off against the sophomore Brianna Butler, who's held the Gamecocks to just 1 hit so far. 5 of the 6 outs have been in the infield. Here's Fabian. Fabian splitting time behind the plate with Anna Vest this year. Fabian's the freshman from Hanahan, South Carolina. Butler misses in and then misses out, 2-0.
And you can see Butler's just doing exactly what we were told she's going to do. She's just trying to work that fastball, spot it, both sides of the plate, mix in the changeup. There it is right there. And when you talk about pitching coaches and knowledge, Duke is stacked between head coach Marissa Young and then assistant coach Lacey Waldrop.
And she walks around 4 pitches, so the Gamecocks get the lead off the board for the first time today, and it's the first walk surrendered by Butler. Brings up the pitcher, Carly Heath, as you look at the Duke coaching staff, and there's a lot of pitching knowledge in that dugout.
Absolutely, and you can see Lacey Waldrop with her hands in her pocket there, kind of looking back and forth, and I cannot say enough good things about her. I recruited her heavily when I was coaching at Ole Miss and really thought I had her, and then here comes Florida State. Swoops in, and, you know, it was meant to be for her, but just a kind person, a hard worker. You see very few pitchers that can spin the ball and move it like she can. I can count on one hand how many of those I've seen over my entire career. And then you look at head coach Marissa Young and what she brings to the table. All-American from Michigan. So they've got a lot of knowledge over there. Duke's in good hands.
Carly Heath, a chance to help her own cause here. 2-0 as Butler has missed on 6 straight here to start the third inning. So
this is an interesting matchup because, you know, Carly Heath is from North Augusta, And then Brianna Butler is from Evans, Georgia, which are literally right there. So you know they know each other.
Yes.
Like, you know they know.
They've probably played against each other at some point, right?
They probably have. And sometimes, at least for me, when I played, it was a little weird when you were playing against somebody. They may have played on the same team. I don't travel ball or something like that. I don't know. But facing somebody that you've just known so long can be a little odd.
2-1, had a big cut, came up empty. Carly Heath, the pitcher hitting for herself, has 8 hits on the year. 5 of them are for extra bases, a couple of doubles and 3 home runs. So she doesn't get cheated out there. Strike 3 called, nipped the top of the outside corner, and that's a big first out for Butler. First strikeout of the game as well.
Yeah, and if Butler knows Carly Heath, it didn't bother her because she went hard at that outside corner. That's actually a really nice pitch.
So walk and a strikeout to start things. Back to the top of the order now for the shortstop, Kenzie Mcguire. Mcguire flied out to center field in the first inning.
So now we're seeing Butler facing the South Carolina hitters the second time. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made both by Butler and if she really needs to make any, and then by the South Carolina, as they really haven't been doing much against her.
Nope, just 1 hit so far. 1-0, hit down the right field line. Cavill comes over, makes the grab on the line in fair territory for out number 2. Good poke by Mcguire, but Cavill was playing deep enough to get there easily, and quickly there's 2 away. And Butler 1 out away from working out of a leadoff walk. Here's Mackenzie Bosal, the second baseman, who lined out sharply to the third baseman, Jacobson, back in the first inning. It was a rocket off her bat, and Jacobson made a nice catch. Outside for ball 1. Big spot for Brianna Butler here. You walk the 8-hole hitter, and then it eventually gets back to the top of the order. If you can get out of this without any damage, you're feeling pretty good about the situation.
Absolutely.
That's going to get through into right field for a base hit. They'll hold Heath, or rather Fabian, at second base. So Bosal has her first hit of the day. She's 1 for 2, second hit for the Gamecocks.
Bosal doing Bosal, just turning on the inside corner.
Another hard hit ball. She was 0 for 4 against the Blue Devils in the first game, so she has her first hit against them. 2 outs, 2 on for the third baseman, Jana Johns, who grounded out to short to end the first inning. 0 for 1 today. Nice stop by Moreno behind the plate. Johns, the Gamecocks' leading hitter, coming in as you get a look at Moreno. Outside, didn't offer. Now a little conference in the circle as they're going to make sure they're all on the same page.
I mean, you're in the tough part of South Carolina lineup, and you have 2 outs. You can see Butler is getting a little bit outside the zone, a little bit further than she has been. So this is probably just a, hey, let's take a breather here, get reset, throw your game. All you need is an out.
Mentioned the Gamecocks will host Ole Miss this weekend. Duke hits the road again. Will be at Virginia for 3 games for their ACC series. A 2-0 to Jana Johns. Misses high. Again, the tough part of the order for the Gamecocks with Johns at the plate and Kayla Drotar in the on-deck circle. There's the strike. Jana Johns, in addition to some power numbers, hit by a pitch 28 times last year. That led the NCAA, and she's doing it again this year. 16 times she's been plunked. There's ball 4. So the Gamecocks have got them loaded with 2 outs. A couple of walks in the inning. And the base hit. Johns to first, Bosal to second, Fabian over to third. And here's Kayla Drotar. The DP 0 for 1, a ground out to second in the second inning.
Yeah, but this is a little bit dangerous because we know Kayla Drotar has power. And I also think she kind of likes situations like this.
Fouls this one off. Had a healthy cut at that first pitch.
Yeah, the thing I'd like to see, though, here is I'd like to have seen Kayla be a little bit more patient. Butler's been struggling with the zone. Obviously, have bases loaded. Make her work. Make her give you something down the middle of the plate.
Slow tapper to third. Jacobson's got it. And the Gamecocks leave them loaded here in the third. A couple of walks and a hit. Nothing doing for the Gamecocks. We're still scoreless. We showed you the SEC standings earlier. Here's what the ACC softball standings look like. And you can see in the early going, Duke still in the thick of things here. In just their second year as a softball program, had a winning record in SEC play and overall last year. And at 500 in the league so far after taking 2 out of 3 over the weekend from Pitt. Scoreless as we move to the fourth here. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Blue Devils against the freshman Carly Heath, and she delivers a strike to Jamison Cavill.
I think it's really important for Duke fans and the Duke team to remember that key little bit of information. This is only the second year of the program, and how they're stacking up against that conference is really quite incredible.
Cavill pops this one into short left field. The shortstop, Kenzie Mcguire, goes back and makes the catch, and there's one away. So Cavill now 0 for 2. Why do you think that Duke has gotten off to such a fast start? That's not easy to do in a Power 5 conference.
It's not. I think that Duke made a really great hire in Marissa Young. I think she brings a pedigree. I think she knows what she's doing. I also think that Duke was ripe. Duke is a school that a lot of people want to go to, although not everybody can go to.
Sure.
So there's that. And there's a lot of incentive for athletes to go to Duke when you just look at the area and the athletics at the school, what the academics are going to bring. You know, I think when talking with Coach Young, one thing I asked her, I said, how was it? How is it building a program? She said, I think one thing I underestimated was you can't rush building a culture. So you can build the team, you can put people out there, fill the jerseys, but building the culture and getting that winning mentality, competitive mentality that you're really looking for takes time, and she's right.
Christina Foreman's in there. A ball and 2 strikes on the center fielder. And speaking of Duke, their men's basketball team is in town here in Columbia this weekend for the first rounds of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. As Columbia's Colonial Life Arena is a host site. There's a lot of excitement around town. 1-2, misses low. And with the excitement, obviously Duke has that tradition with men's basketball. How much in recruiting, even for sports, for softball, does that make a difference of, hey, come here and you can also do this? Does that make a difference?
I think so, absolutely. I mean, otherwise, when you go on a recruiting trip or you have recruits on campus, you don't really care about taking them to other athletic events.
Right.
But what happens? You always do that. And so I think it definitely makes a difference. I mean, look, we're athletes, and so we like other sports. Me, not so much, but most folks you like the environment.
Carly Heath strikes out Christina Foreman for the second out in the inning. Second strikeout of the day for Heath as well. So 2 up, 2 down for the left fielder, Rain Wilson, who flied out to center in the second inning. Check swing foul.
That was a good changeup by Carly Heath. You can see Wilson, she kind of tapped her bat. She was a little upset at herself.
Wilson had a good game in the first meeting between these two teams. 2 for 2 with a triple, an RBI, and a sacrifice. 0 for 1 tonight. That one spins outside, a ball and a strike. Carly Heath, the freshman from North Augusta, South Carolina, in the circle for the Gamecocks tonight, making her 9th start of the season. Up high.
Coach Young really appreciates the energy that Rain Wilson brings to the team. I asked her, because I like to know, who are your goofballs? You know, who are the oddballs that are sticking out, right? And she said, well, the whole team really is. But, ooh.
First hit batter of the night as Wilson takes that one almost like off the knee.
This one just gets away from Heath. Yes, it does.
Ouch.
That doesn't feel very good.
4th hit batter of the year by the freshman Carly Heath, and it gets the Blue Devils a runner aboard with 2 outs. Wilson, a first-team All-ACC selection last year after transferring from James Madison, led the team in hitting, home runs, and RBI. Now she's on first. Here's the third baseman, Caroline Jacobson, who popped up to Mackenzie Bosal at second base in the second inning. Blue Devils have had a base runner in each of the last 3 innings.